Hi, this video is going to show you how to use a layer mask to hide parts of an image that you don't want to use. Let's get started. So I'm going to use the same picture that I used in the Google image search video, which is that Kobe picture. And I know I saved it on my desktop, so I'm going to go here, go to desktop, double click. There we go. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. That's just the squeeze out, I guess, on your trackpad. And the first thing I notice is down here on the right in the layer panel, it imported as a background with a lock, which is great. I am going to make a copy of that layer. I like to have one layer that I haven't done anything to that I could always come back to. So I'm going to two-finger click on top of the layer and click duplicate layer. And one thing is, I know if you two-finger click right on the picture, you get a different menu. So you need a two-finger click outside here, duplicate layer. Okay, so now I'm going to actually hide that layer because I don't want to use it and I don't want to accidentally do something to it. I'm going to make sure I'm working on this layer that I'm looking at in front of me, which is the Kobe layer. And you can see I hid the back layer because if I move it, if I use my move tool and move it over here, there's nothing behind it. So we are going to use the selection tool. It's called the object selection tool, and it's actually pretty new in Adobe, and it's pretty awesome. So it's going to help us a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to click it, and if you don't see it there, I want you to press and hold, and then make sure this object selection tool. Each of these tools that has the little corner triangle has multiple tools hidden underneath the top one. So if you press and hold, you'll see there's lots of other options. Okay, but anyways, back to the object selection tool. And we're going to take that and we're going to draw a very loose outline around Kobe. Oops. That'll be fine. And it's going to find Kobe in there. Perfect. Look at that. So all of these little dancing ants are saying this is the part that we have selected, which is great. And now I'm going to come down to the bottom right here, and I'm going to add a layer mask. And this is going to be able to hide that whole crowd scene. We don't want that. I just want to see Kobe. So when I click it, this layer mask, boom. So it's a good start. It's not perfect, but it's a good start. And so I'm going to make sure I'm still on the mask over here. I'm going to zoom in. And this is not a great picture, but we'll use it for now. Along the left here, I'm going to get a brush tool. So it's shortcut B. And then down here, I'm going to click this default white and black. And then these arrows will flip them back and forth. Also, X on the keyboard, if you tap X on the keyboard, it flips the colors back and forth. So we want black as our foreground color. Black is going to hide parts that we don't want. And so I can start hiding them. But you can see that that brush is way too big. So I'm going to Command Z to undo that. And I'm going to adjust the size of this brush. And there's a couple ways to do that. You can go up to the top here, and this will slide back and forth. This also gives you lots of different brushes you can use. So now I'm at 62%, which is still too big. The other way you can do it, the shortcut to do it on your keyboard, is to use the left and right brackets. The brackets are on your keyboard right next to the P key, like as in Perez, they're right next to it. So bracket left, it's going to make the brush smaller, bracket right, it's going to make it bigger. So you can kind of adjust as you're going. And now I'm going to paint off the other parts that I don't want. That kind of have, and you might need to zoom in, take your time with this, take off anything. And this, like over here, I can see that it took off a chunk of his leg. It looks really weird. So now we're going to flip this back to white. So we're going to X, flip it back to white, and we're going to paint his knee back on. And then I can also tell his shoe was kind of messed up. Just look at that. This is why we like to layer mask, because we're not destroying our image. We can get back parts that we might need. Oh, look, his whole section here was cut off. It's okay. So we're going to paint it back on. And then I'm going to switch to black and just kind of go along the edge there. If you have a higher quality picture, it'll be easier to do, to be honest. But it's okay. We just want to kind of, it's a quick little tutorial. Okay. Hair is always a bit tricky. Obviously, not for Kobe. It was fine. But hair is always trickier to... His head looks weird there, huh? Did I take off too much? Oh, yeah. So we could go to, if we select it again, we could go to the select and mask and then adjust here. So that could be a good thing. And then you're good to go. So you're ready to hit the next stage.